Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Show up here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Campbell.
Good evening. I invited Joey Uso and also Harold to us. So let's see what happens. But more playoff talk. We know how the bracket's going to look now. Washington fills in this spot. The Eagles fill in that spot. And so far, we got a game brewing there in Glendale. Vikings finally scored their 4th and 15 on the Minnesota 35. Cool, Joey. I just sent you the link. I also invited Pensman. Maybe he'll show up. Wonder if B wants to talk a little playoff football. There we go. There, I got out the invites to who I wanted. Denzel Snipes is part of Sideline Sports. He's a Texans fan. I'm seeing if he wants to hop in. See what we got going on. Ooh, what they do? Could a 4th down conversion? What did I say about those Packers? Running into the kicker. Shit. I'm hoping he can make it because I like when Denzel comes in. He's been one of the biggest supporters outside of the Lions fan base I know. Third and 7 for him now. Yeah, can't be doing that. Running into the kicker. All right, we got our buddy Joey Uso.
What
Thank
is up?
you, Eagles.
What is up?
Thank you, Eagles.
We
What did
did
I
it.
say?
Came through.
What did I say? I didn't think they could beat you. I said there. I said if they had their full complement, maybe. But with Jair out and Christian, Darnold threw a pick.
He definitely just did too. Oh wow.
What did I say about Minnesota losing to the Lions and then facing LA?
Hey, you
What
guys
what
called
did
it.
I say?
You guys called it. Hey, we see who the fraudulent ones are now.
I said they were good. They just weren't great.
Right.
But the Chargers, holy smokes, did they implode? Justin Herbert, I don't ever want to hear anyone say he's a top 10 QB again.
Right.
You can't be a top 10 QB if you can't get past the first round of the playoffs.
And like I get like they lost some weapons, but I don't think they lost that much where they get beat that bad.
Right. I mean, the Texans
It's
are a good team,
insane.
don't get me wrong. But to lose that bad to that team that was mediocre all season.
Right.
And Joseph Host pops in. Darnold is putting in his resume on display to be the Rams' backup next year. He might be the starter in San Francisco.
Hey, what does his name say? That's just gonna save him a couple $1,000,000, right?
Right. Remember the one Vikings fan? He said we're probably going to end up with DJ and JJ,
Right.
Daniel Jones and JJ. He said it. He goes, especially if he screws the pooch in week 1.
And also, this is something I didn't like. I didn't give it much thought, but the experience in playoff football for Darnold, it's showing. He has no experience. He's probably under the gun. He's nervous out there.
Oh man, I just can't believe they did that already. Wow.
What's that Kelly special?
Oh well, Kelly Stafford, he wants that Kelly special.
Yep, that's
He
where
put it
he's
in there.
going.
I sit there and said, you don't have to worry about that. She only goes for Georgia backup quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. You can't be something where you have to be minuscule.
So the only one you got to worry about with her is Studson Bennett.
Right, right,
And he's an alcoholic who had to go to rehab once already. I'm quite sure it wouldn't take much for her to convince him.
right. So I didn't see this Mike McCarthy thing coming out this early. I was like 50-50
I
on it, but I did not expect this.
He's already the odds-on favorite to be the coach of the Bears.
I heard about that.
And literally, they asked for the thing. Get the Bear fan. We already know the Vikings will lose, so it must be Monday mashup time.
You know what's
No,
gonna be
I literally didn't want to come in and trash
interesting?
them, but
To be honest, they could have had our number. 4 turnovers, only scoring off of one of them.
yeah,
You cannot do that in playoff
that game
football.
that game was closer than it needed to be.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Kellen Moore, I think he got lazy with his schemes, and I think that he also didn't plan for maybe Jalen was worse than what we thought. Maybe he was playing for
I
Pickett.
have been the biggest proponent that Jalen Hurts is not all that. I've been saying it because I seen things. Remember when Doug Peterson was there?
Right.
He looked good the first game that Doug Peterson coached him,
Mhm.
which okay, so the ability's there. And then all of a sudden in the next game, it wasn't there,
Right.
and I'm like going, it, that can't be a coaching problem. That can't
Right.
be. I- If it was a coaching problem, it would have been a problem in the first game, not look good, and then all of a sudden fall apart. And then he looked good the next game, and then fell apart again. And I think that was the year you guys just missed the playoff, right?
Uh, so we've been in the playoffs with Jalen every year so far. Uh,
His first
2
year, he only
first
started the last 5 games is what I was talking about.
y
So I didn't
Yep,
hold that against him because it wasn't his first full season. Is
yep.
what I'm That's the season you missed because you started with Carson Wentz most of the year,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
So with him starting, we've been there. We just have 2 first round exits. I mean, and
At least you don't
unfortunately to Tampa
like,
Bay.
you
Out of
don't
all the people I wanted.
yeah, yeah, I know you did, I know you did. But I knew the Commanders I told you the Commanders were winning that game, and I told you it'd be a close game.
Right.
The
I
Smeagol the ball and won the turnover battle. Do that in the playoffs, and your win percentage will be very high.
You're not lying.
Yeah, Kelly is like next man up. Love Hokey do. But, the Chargers
Mm,
fell apart. We knew the Steelers were more than likely gonna fall apart, but if they played the Tomlin way like they usually do versus the Ravens,
right.
it wouldn't have been that type of game. I didn't expect the Broncos defense to just fall apart
Yeah.
because Bo Nix really didn't do that bad in the game.
No, he started hot.
Yeah, Bears
That
wanna
first
know,
drive, I
Packers
was like,
0 and
"Wow."
2. I don't make the rules, it just is what it is. Yeah,
The
starting out the year 0 and 2, they are.
the amount of memes that came out as soon as the Packers lost, I had to take a break from the internet. I was just like,
Oh, yeah,
already bad.
but I do have some good news because I have all 4 of the refs that are reffing this weekend, and guess who's not on there? The 3 guys with the highest missed calls percentage in the league. Bradley
Yeah,
Allen, he's not in there. Clete Bateman, he's not in there. And Sean Hockley is not a head ref this week.
I mean, to be
I think
honest, this is
I think
playoff
that's good.
football.
I think that's good, and that's what they should do. Is if you've got the most missed calls, you can take care of the wild card round, but after that, you're done with playoffs.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, and I think there's also a difference between missing calls and letting the boys play.
Right. There's
Because
a
if you watch any of that Eagle game last night, I was like,
well,
they're just throwing flags left and right. We're not even playing the game.
and on top of that, ooh, first and ball on the Minnesota 10. They got the ball.
Yeah, I got the TV turned towards my streaming area, so I'm kinda, like, peeking over once in a while.
But the Lions get the Saturday night game. The Eagles get the Sunday night game. Well, that's cool.
I think that I think that the Redskins, my fault.
Oh, you're
The
okay.
Washington Commanders.
I call them the foreskins because they were the Redskins before.
I'm not that old, but I'm so used to it, you know?
I know. I know.
But, so the Commanders and Lions game is gonna be really entertaining if Jaden Daniels does what he's been doing. If he falls apart, I think that you guys walk all over him.
But you also haven't seen consistency out of that defense.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. Their defense has been up and down. They'll have 2 games up and 2 games down. They just had 2 games up.
Mhm.
And if that continues, great. But also, they don't play very many games indoors.
For sure.
And so this will be a test for Jaden Daniels as well as a rookie because your footing's different when you're on that turf. And we went
Right.
from that weird slit turf to the monofilament turf so people get a better grip. But I'm wondering if that better grip has something to do with some of the soft tissue injuries we've seen on both teams. I did say it was Washington at Detroit Saturday night.
Yeah, I did hear you
Eagles
say
are
that.
Sunday night.
Yeah, I think I think it's gonna be really different because I don't think he's played in many domes this year.
No, he hasn't. Because even when he played the Saints, it was at home. When he played the Texans, they had the dome open there. So
Yeah,
that really wasn't an indoor game. You know what I mean?
right.
Didn't they play the Cardinals too at home?
I'm not exactly sure about that.
I'll have to look, and I don't feel like it right now. Yep, Saturday at 8.
So I mean, we're gonna see. And to
So
be
the AF
honest,
I think it's funny, the AFC got the early games. It used to be all your AFC games were played on either Saturday or Sunday, remember that? So one
yep,
person got a prime time and one person got the early game. But I guess
yeah,
it really doesn't matter once you get to the divisional round because that's all anybody's watching anyways for football.
hmm and I think this is the first time we have Monday night football, playoff football.
We've had Monday night playoff football ever since they went to the 18-week format.
Yeah, strange.
It's just
It's really
weird.
strange.
But this year, it's because remember last year, they put the national championship game up against it,
Hmm.
and that didn't work out so well for the ratings, so they were smart this week. They pushed it back a week.
Right. And to speak of that, I am way more excited about the Buckeye victory over the Eagles. I will be honest.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That was really big. So congratulations to them.
They got to have burnt duck
Yep. So we'll see what happens next week. But
finally.
Ryan Day's gonna get a head coach job in the NFL now. It's like I can see someone saying, "Hey, you want to interview?"
Yeah, I guess crazy days in football. Crazy days.
Yeah, the AFC side, man. The AFC games, I think, were more of a letdown. Like you knew it was gonna happen, but
Yeah, but nobody expected all the lower seeds to win.
nope.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody expected 2, 3, and 4, every single one of them to win. Some we expected an upset, and the only one we got was on the NFC side.
Yep,
But it was the one I said would be the best game, and it was the best game hands down. That was the only dog fight there was.
for sure.
And I said they're going to score between 20 and 30 points apiece.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't have called it any better. I said I think they win by a field goal, and both teams are going to score in the 20s. I mean, how crazy is that? That I said that on Wednesday night. That is what I said, right?
That's exactly what you said. You said it's gonna be a close game, and you could see it being a field goal. And I think you were also talking about Baker Mayfield not having who do you lose this year? He
Chris
lost
Godwin. Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin. Yep. So you lose Godwin, and then you have to rely on Mike Evans, and then you try a weird handoff play, which I don't know what that
Yeah,
was.
I didn't understand that one either.
And obviously, you guys didn't practice it enough because timing was off.
Oh yeah, and and everybody's like, "Well, how is all these coaching interviews going to affect the Lions' practice?" I said, "They don't have a team to prepare for." I already, Dan Campbell already said, "I'm just going to run our 20 scripted plays that we usually run. We have the
Mhm.
generic one, and then you have that 2 or 3 that you throw into the scripted plays versus the team you're facing because we don't know who we're facing, so it doesn't matter. We'll just run our
Mhm.
scripted plays twice.
Right.
We'll run those 20 plays, take a break, then run them again." And I get that. That's actually smart on his part to say, "Hey, coordinators, don't worry about coaching, don't worry about scheming, don't worry about telling the practice team this is the team you're going to be. Let's just go out and have some fun and practice.
Right.
Do a walkthrough day, do a video day, do a practice day, and call it good."
Right.
And it looked like the team loved it because I seen videos all over Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else where they were just having a ball with all the little activities before and after.
Broke.
Moonscar, as
Hey,
much as I hate to say it, they're going to Philly and it's snowing and they're indoor teams. You know what
yep.
I expect to happen?
Because right now it's set at 50%, possibility for precipitation, but that's a lot for being this far out.
Right. And yeah, because normally if it's not going to happen, it's 20% or less. When it's
Yeah.
50% or more, it's almost guaranteed that they're tracking the storms right.
Yep. And you're going into a place where it's a run first team.
Hmm.
So, and unfortunately, you just have the best back on that team. So it's going to be hard for them. Either one.
Yeah.
We
I
already
don't have
see
a,
what LA did when they played us earlier in the year. They got smoked. So
but at the same time, they didn't have Puka in that game. I will put
they
that
didn't.
caveat in there. No, because you played him in the beginning of the season still. He didn't come back till they played the Vikings in week 9.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. But
So
it,
when
that
when
line
Puka's
has
not
to
in
hit.
that game, that the game is different, and we're seeing that tonight.
Yeah, his first
Second and
reception
5.
was from like 22 yards or something like that.
Yeah, because that's what happened with us, and everybody thought it was a dirty hit, and it wasn't.
Hmm.
Puka ran out of bounds, and when he tried to stop, he stopped weird, and that's what tweaked his knee when he
Hmm.
just came back from that minor MCL sprain, and that's why he had to miss more time.
Right.
Everybody's like, "Oh, they hit him in the leg. It's a dirty hit." I was like, "It's the other leg that hurt, dumbass."
Right.
It was the plant leg on the other side that didn't even get hit.
Also, remember, I forget who it was, a bunch of years back. Someone injured themselves because it might have been RG3, actually, I think, but he was running out of bounds and he stepped on one of the tarps and he tore his knee up from that. And they're like, we can't do that anymore. So it's like run into the out of
Okey
bounds. It
do,
just,
okey do. Oh my god, that comment's great. I lost respect for Stafford and his flat on
whoa,
her back wife with
touchdown.
touchdown Minnesota.
Nope.
No?
It looks like a turnover touchdown. I don't know if it
Oh
was
shit. Oh shit.
it
No
it
way.
was either a fumble or interception. I didn't get to see. I just seen him run into the end zone.
No way. Oh my god.
Let's
Rams
see right
scoring
now.
on a fumble recovery.
Yep.
They just put it in the chat.
See if it was
Oh my
clean.
god. Yep, there it is.
Oh,
They
yep.
just
Sam
they
Darnold.
just they just oh, on a bad handoff again, right?
No, Sam Darnold dropped back.
Oh, got slack.
Yep. Yeah.
Was it
He
Jared
didn't
Verse?
call no protection at all.
Was it Jared Verse? Number
I
8?
didn't see who hit it. No, he picked it up and ran it, I think.
Oh, but he picked it up and ran it in.
I think it was him, yeah.
Sack, fumble, TD. Holy shit.
Why do I feel like replays have gotten worse over the years?
They have.
Maybe
Because
it was
that
wrestling,
replay
but
the replay of the one touchdown during the Bills game with, Ty Johnson.
right.
Holy shit, Jeremy Washington beat the Bucks. Yeah, I called it.
Yeah, it was verse,
Yep,
yep.
it was Verse, okay. But,
Verse ran it and first touchdown, yep.
when he slid and they showed the angle from the left side where you
Mhm.
could see the front, that ball was squirting when the foot hit out of bounds.
Right.
That's not control. That means he didn't have control when his foot hit out of bounds.
Mhm.
That one touchdown is the one that put the dagger, and they upheld it. And I was upset about that. I sat there, I said, Even though I don't have a dog in the fight, I want it to be fairly called game."
Mhm.
And they reviewed it and still called that a touchdown.
See, that's the type of
Moon
referee you will not see in the deep
yeah,
playoffs.
Moonscar. At Days Burgess, LOL, so true. Forecast for LA. Raining barrels and barrels of P. Diddy special model. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
Did you see there is video of people actually setting the fires out there?
I've seen a lot of stuff and what's his name? The actor, I forget who it was. He was on Fox News and he was saying, why did they like empty all the water out? They were saying is this set by them? Like the established government, he was
Well,
saying.
what's funny is they started to do the DEI inclusive, and they had to make it to where all the wildfire crews had to have a minimum of 35% women. Guess what? They didn't apply.
Wow.
I
It's
know replay is supposed to get it right, and I saw that it wasn't right. If you can plainly see the ball and it looked like the tip of the ball while it was in his arm, it hit the ground, and when it popped up, you saw it free from his arm and his shoulder before he got control again. While he was getting that control, his foot hit out of bounds.
Mhm.
And I was like, "That's not a touchdown." And when they confirmed it, I was like, "Well, that means they want the Bills in this playoff, period."
So they have 4 sacks tonight and 2 takeaways already. LA.
No, I
Wow.
know. 17-3.
Is Sam Darnold just not calling the right protections or
Cheryl, Sam Darnold has always struggled with calling protections from what I've
yeah,
seen.
sacked again? Oh my god. This
Third
guy doesn't
14.
know what he's doing. They're gonna pull him if he
It's
keeps playing like
official. It's official. That is New York Jets Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts.
Yep.
It's 2 weeks in a row.
Panicking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, linemen are giving up on their blocks. That's insane. But then again, I felt like Philly was doing that last night. I felt like as the game wore on, they were just getting lackadaisical and blocking.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's see what the stats are right now. He is 11 of 19. Is that right? Sam Darnold?
Yeah, let's go to ESPN.
And Matt Stafford is 12 of 17 for 129 and a touchdown.
Yep.
11 of 19. How
Yep.
many yards? Is that
For Stafford, 129.
go for Sam Darnold?
He's
How many
108 and
yards?
an interception.
Man, wow. Oh, yep, they just adjusted it. It's 12 of 14 for 108 and one touchdown.
Justin Jefferson has 58 yards though. 5 receptions.
Hey, congratulations. What quality wins did Minnesota have this year? Don't say Pack. You have to say the Packer games. They had 11 wins. That's their only one.
Man.
But let me go back to that graphic that I had in my phone here, and it was from around Thanksgiving. So this is a kind of an important one because this is why I said while the North teams were good, the one that was more battle tested at the time was actually Green Bay than Minnesota.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they did beat Dallas the year before in the playoffs. Not just like beat them, they embarrassed them.
Oh yeah, they they said you're my bitch, and I loved it. Not gonna lie. Yeah, that was a great graphic. It actually had a breakdown of all four top NFC teams, and that was the three out of the NFC North and the Philadelphia Eagles, and the record of every opponent and the quality wins they had.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to do it this way. Okay, I don't have that one, but I do have this one. I'm gonna give you a set of stats, and you tell me which one's which.
Okay.
Completion, and this is prior to the season being played. These are two quarterbacks. Both were picked. One was picked at 1. One was picked at 12 in the same draft. 20 and 30 record, 22 and 36 and 1. That's their quarterback game winning record, right?
All right.
63.8 completion percentage versus 64.3. Okay, so look, one has 10 more games and 2,000 and 1,000 more yards. So that's pretty close, right?
Right.
11,770 for the one and 12,512. 6.7 yards per attempt for the one, 6.6 yards for the other. 235.4, 208.5. 58 passing touchdowns for the first one with the lower completion percentage, 62 touchdowns for the other one. 39 interceptions for the one with less games, only 40 for the one with more games. 85 passer rating, 85.2 for the second one. Rushing yards, 205 and 11 rushing touchdowns for the first one. 332 attempts, 13 touchdowns, and 1,914 yards for 5.8 yards per carry in a fantasy point differential. For those of us that play fantasy league, the
Yep.
first one has 757.1 and 907.5 for the second quarterback. Do you want to know what two quarterbacks I'm telling you they are?
I want to take a stab, but like,
Go ahead.
so the only people I can think of, I'm gonna eliminate people like Lamar and stuff because he's rushed for
Yeah.
way more yards than that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna eliminate Jalen Hurts just because he
Yep.
rushes for more touchdown. Are they in your division?
No, they are not in my division. They
All
are.
right.
One was in your division.
So could one of them be no, because he doesn't run. The one of the guy that I'm thinking that used to be in our division doesn't even hold a starting job anymore.
Correct.
So I think that's Carson Wentz.
No,
No?
no. Carson Wentz doesn't have as many passing touchdowns as this guy, and he had an MVP type season his rookie year. Remember?
Yeah, then it would be Kirk Cousins, right?
No.
Wow,
Wait.
okay, now I'm stuck.
Okay. These are the 4-year totals for one at the first pick in the draft overall again. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my goodness.
The second one picked the same year at pick 12 with the New York Giants was one Daniel Jones.
Ew. I didn't even think about him.
Yeah.
But he does
had
rush a little bit. He doesn't do it a lot, but he does rush a little bit.
13 touchdowns and 1,914 yards in 4 years. That's pretty fucking good, actually,
Yeah.
for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And 5.8 yards per carry. But 4.7 yards per carry and 11 touchdowns isn't bad. Yes,
Wow.
I Vikings
think-
getting blown up. I love it, guys. Oh my goodness. 4th and 2 at the 50.
Wow. They stopped him there. Turnover on downs.
The
Oh, wow.
Honolulu Blue Flu hangover. We talked about it, especially in our division and what happened. And Moonscar Blade says nobody thinks about Daniel Jones.
Nobody. Nobody.
Right.
I
So
mean,
if you look at
I-
that with 10 more games, if you just the fact that he only has with 10 more games, he only has one more interception and a better completion percentage, almost the same exact yards per attempt. He's not
Then
as
Trevor
bad as
Lawrence?
the QB as Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He's only got a tenth of a yard less than
Right.
what Trevor Lawrence averages. They call Trevor Lawrence a top 10 QB and Daniel Jones a bust.
Ah,
And
man.
here's what I'm going to say about this. Look at the roster Daniel Jones has had all 4 years that he was a starter. And look at the roster that Trevor Lawrence has had all 4 years as a starter.
Mm. Well, Trevor Lawrence had a better roster.
Just a bad coach his rookie year.
Yep.
100%. But at the same time, Daniel Jones had a bad coach his rookie year too. He had Joe Judge.
Yeah. And where's Joe Judge? I don't even think he coaches anywhere.
Nope, neither does Urban Meyer, so that's a wash. Correct?
Wow.
Isn't that a wash on that?
Yeah. Well, we all know the only reason why Urban Meyer came to
So-
NFL was because of that schedule. Or
I'm
that
bringing this up.
thing that
I'm
was
bringing
going.
this up because I got into an argument with my publisher Saturday morning. You saw that on the External Bum Show,
I
right?
did. Yep.
And he looked like he was going to have a heart attack, like he was going to explode on the screen when I said that about Trevor Lawrence. I said, he's no better than Daniel Jones. That's proof.
Yep.
The proof is in the stats.
Yep.
Darnold is getting slaughtered, and I am not bad. Hello, Marianne Dean Christaco. She is of Vassar, Michigan, right around the corner from me. I'm in Burton now.
So you can give Daniel Jones a $100 million contract. Has Trevor Lawrence even got that type of money?
Trevor Lawrence one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league.
They
They just
did,
gave
they
him
did.
5 years at $55 million. He
Man,
got overpaid for that national championship. That's the only thing he's done in his career. You can't tell me that one playoff game in a 9-8 in a 9 and was it a 9-8 season even? It wasn't even 17 games that year, was it? No, it
right.
was. It was
It
17
was.
games.
It was.
So 9-8 and one playoff win because his kicker hit a 54-yard field goal, Riley Patterson,
Yep.
to win it versus the Chargers, who charge her to the couch in the first game of the playoffs every year.
Right. And he came into a Jaguars team that literally just came off a deep playoff run with a great
They're
defense.
with Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles take you to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
You come into that roster.
Jim
They get rid
Jackson's
of Blake
highest.
Bortles that year. You
Another
start.
touchdown for the Rams. This game's over and it isn't even halftime.
Tyler Higbee is that Higbee? No, that's other tight end now. They are just feeding these tight ends. Justin Jefferson looks sick right now.
Yeah, he should. I take it the Honolulu Blue Flu is running rampant on the Vikings. Yes, it is.
Oh.
They scored 3 points and a half, and they're down now. What, 24?
Yep.
Good God!
Wow, they just left him wide open.
Yeah.
Somebody did not know the coverage on that. They had a linebacker in the corner covering one receiver.
You know, it's funny because everybody talks about how good Brian Flores was as a coordinator. Do you know who the passing game coordinator that Brian Flores fired in Miami was?
No, I think I
Ben
would.
Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. I'm not gonna curse, but Ben Johnson. Yes,
No, Ben fucking
Oh,
Johnson. You can say it. I
Ben
do.
fucking Johnson. Ben fucking Johnson, man.
So what's funny is the last 2 years since Brian Flores has been there,
Right.
they have given up 5 30-plus games up until this point in the 2 seasons. Do you know what team has scored 30 all 4 times against them?
Against
The Minnesota Vikings and Brian Flores
Minnesota.
defense. All 4 games has been the Detroit motherfucking Lions with
Yeah, I
Ben
was gonna
fucking
say
Johnson
Detroit, right?
leading the charge.
It just goes to show, like,
Look at Hokey Do's comment
Sausage
about Lawrence.
still suck balls. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and I defended Mac Jones. You heard me say it. I said there. He goes, you want to say the injuries are bad, but Brian Thomas had a better second half of the season with Mac Jones as a quarterback than he had in the first half of the season with that overpaid, overrated piece of shit.
yeah,
And everybody's like, no, he didn't. I said, he ended up with 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. 6 of the touchdowns was with Mac
right.
Jones throwing to him in less games.
And Mac Jones was supposed to be the next Brady, and they were all hype on him and shit. I was like, no.
I know. Yes, can you smell it? Honolulu Blue in New Orleans. It could damn well could happen. Don't tell me. You know you don't.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
I know.
We're gonna see how they
I
run
know.
in the snow.
Joey, I know as much as you hate to want to do this, you're kind of small part of you in the back of your head says, I'm a Commander fan this weekend.
I 100% am.
and I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing in my past lifetime. I don't want to see this team. I'm that fan this weekend.
Right.
I actually want to
Yeah,
see the
for
Commanders,
sure.
and everybody says, why? I said, we played everybody else in the playoffs. We
Right.
played everybody but Philly, and we can't play Philly till the NFC Championship game. So out of all of them, the one
Yeah.
I want in the divisional round is the Commanders. Because then you know what that stops?
Right.
Well, the Lions haven't beat anybody this year.
Right. They always say that when you're so
I
good,
know.
right?
And they say it, but at the same time, I am going to push back a little on the Eagles. Do you know why? The
Hmm.
combined record of all your opponents combined is less than 70 for wins.
Wins. Wow.
And that's
But then again, they did say that the same year that we went
I
to the Super
understand
Bowl,
that.
and
That's not what I'm.
I will say that's not what I'm. I will say that was a weak schedule for
And
us
that was
too.
with a second place schedule, but it's mostly because of how shitty your division was.
Oh my goodness,
Between
that was an easy road to an NFC
no, but
Championship.
I'm just saying this year, y- I hope you don't have to face the Commanders.
Broski, what's up? I don't, because right now they are too hot. I want you guys to get them out of the way, to be honest, because I hate playing hot teams because they come in, they're all pumped up. Next thing you know, they're hitting people, we're getting injuries. It's just
Yeah, and I will say one thing: both teams came out a little banged out of the Bills game. The Bills
mhm,
Broncos, there was some players that got banged up on both
yeah,
sides of that ball. So I
right.
I don't know what they're going to do versus the Ravens because the Ravens play in a similar type of weather, but not as bitterly
Mm.
cold as what Buffalo is.
No, and you're fighting that wind up there. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I get like the snow and stuff, but you were really gonna fight,
Yes,
you know,
yes, broski, the bye queens are
when
getting pounded. So
I can see that
and
setting
the
this guy
Rams are
soon.
a hot team
Okay.
right now.
They are.
They're on an 8-game winning streak. That's actually the hottest team in football right now. All the other streaks
Yeah.
ended just before the end of the season, but the Rams. Oh wait, no,
Yep.
they ended their streak, didn't they? They lost to the Seahawks the last game by 3 points, playing their backups.
No,
Yes,
I think they
no,
barely won, didn't
Seahawks
they?
ended up winning that game.
Wow. Yep. But they were hanging in there. It was not like it was a
Well,
blowout. It was
I
definitely
hope
too
the rest
close.
of the NFC North is like I am, because you know what? I like when our
Mhm.
division has somebody represent us if
Right.
I'm not in it. I'm not like that. I'm not. But the only team that I knew it never would be is the Bears.
Right. Right. The Bears.
Nah, Bears.
Yeah.
Can the
So
Rams beat the Eagles if they don't? They run the ball very well. Everybody quietly. Kyron Williams is a top 5 running back this year, guys.
I was gonna say I like Kyron Williams a lot. He's having a great game
You call
now.
yourself Joey Uso because you date a lot of black women.
Joey Uso.
Yeah,
You know where I got that from?
wrestling.
I'm Italian from
Oh,
South Philly, and I'm a big mafia movie
okay.
guy. So that's where it came. Fuck the Bears.
Yep, that's right. I was right because the Rams losing in the last week is what dropped them to the 4th seed.
Yep.
Because otherwise, they'd have been the 3rd
So
seed. If they were the 3rd seed and the Commanders had to go there, I
right,
don't think the Commanders would have won.
right.
And would the Bucks would have won versus the other team because the other team did. No, yeah, they'd have won.
I think that if that game was to happen like earlier in the year, Washington and Tampa Bay, I don't think Washington walks away with that.
They will all be mad when they change the name in a year. Washington fans are going to be like, "Why the hell I buy this shit?" Yeah, you heard that.
Yeah,
There's a good chance it's changing back to the Redskins, right?
I heard that. I
I'm
heard there's a
happy
big
about
petition
that.
about
The petition got signed and passed, and now they're petitioning Congress to be able to change it back.
right. And the thing is, it's mostly Native American tribes that are fighting
Right.
for it
That
because they were saying we feel like it's a pride thing when people are
right.
noticing
You
us.
know, in all actuality, it had to do with Chief Whitefeather more than anything because that was the
Right.
last chief of the Potomac tribe, which was part of the was it Blackfoots in that area or Sioux? I can't remember. It's Sioux, isn't it?
I mean, if you want to talk about pasta or Italians, I
Okay.
got you. I don't know much about Native Americans.
Well, anyways, it was the Potomac tribe, and
Okay.
the last Indian chief they had was Chief Whitefeather. And that's why the
Right.
Redskins used him because he was a proud chief. No, you bring in Chief Wahoo from the Indians. That's what got the Indians done. It wasn't the name, it
Yeah.
was Chief Wahoo. They hated the cartoonish Indian the Native Americans did. That actually was Native Americans that pushed for that one to be removed. There's a big
Yeah. And
difference there.
then
The cartoonish stuff they
they
don't
just
go
fought
for.
for it.
You notice the Braves,
Right.
The Braves a long time ago got rid of that cartoonish guy they had before
Yep.
this woke movement even starting.
Right.
Always been and soon to return the Redskins. But and there's another reason why I
And
wanted to play the Foreskins, Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them.
right.
It was that beatdown that they put on us in '91 that for them to go to the Super Bowl.
I was 4 years old. I'm really holding on to that.
I hold on to that because I was 21 years old when it happened. That's how old I am, Joey.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Maron.
Not bad for a
I
not
think,
bad for a 54-year-old who's part French, German, Italian.
yeah, this guy is not gonna get Alzheimer's anytime soon.
Right. If they would
This guy
if
will
they
remember.
see, that's what they told him. They said, if you would have got rid of Chief Wahoo when all this stuff started about 4 years ago, when all the woke stuff started, Indians would have been
Mhm.
able to keep their name, but they refused to
Right.
get rid of it.
I think it just because that's what just started.
Um,
We're not just gonna do your sport. We're just gonna go to
Either
every
one
single
of the
sport.
Saguenay Eagles landing properties right here in Michigan, the Chippewa Nation tribe, which runs both of them, is
Uh-huh.
a big proponent
Right.
of the Washington Redskins being changed. They
Man.
actually pooled their money from the two casinos. The one's just an electronic one, and the one's a main casino.
Yeah.
They pooled their money to chip in $2.5 billion for this name change.
Jesus. If they're willing to give up their own money, it's an issue.
Yeah, it means it's not an issue. It's not a woke issue. It's a woke left side
Yeah.
liberal that said, "This
Yeah,
offends
sure.
me."
Yep.
It's a Karen.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But back to that question about if LA could beat us, um, I'm gonna say if our secondary isn't playing man to man, I think we're gonna have troubles. You cannot play zone coverage against
Yep,
these guys.
I got you. Joey Uso is from the movie A Bronx Tale when C is getting ready to go on a
Yep.
date with a black girl from the bus in his high school, but his dad asked him about it.
All right, let me see if I can give my best impression of that scene.
Uh-oh.
He goes, hey, Dad, let me ask you a question. He said, you know Joey also from down the block? Yeah, I know him. He said, he said he wants to go out with this color girl. What do you think you should do? And he's like, well, you should tell Joey also that sometimes in the heat of passion, the little head tells the big head what to do. And, you know, next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, so
And he doesn't know he was
that
covering
reminds
up.
me of a joke I heard. So after they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, God came to Adam. He goes, "I got to equalize you because she's too smart for you." So he
Mhm.
said, "That's it. I'm giving you two brains, but only enough blood to run one at a
That's our
time."
that's a man's curse. It's a man's curse. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here.
Yep, and the Chippewas petitioned the NCAA to have Central Michigan University keep the Chippewa name 100% because it's in Mount Pleasant,
That's pretty cool.
and
That's
that's where
pretty
the
cool.
biggest part of their biggest casino is. The main one is in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, right next to the MU.
Because even Chicago, they the Blackhawks, I think they changed theirs too. They don't have the same logo that they had before because it was another head.
Yeah, it's the Aspire app that Soaring Eagle has, is what it is. It's their sports book and casino app. Moonscar Blade. It is
Mhm.
sponsored. They also sponsor um, Lions Nation Unite, which is ran by former great wide receiver of the Lions, Herman Moore, and offensive tackle Lomas Brown. I li-
Man, it's crazy how much they have to do, in that realm of, you know, power that you can get from
oh
betting,
yeah,
the power you can get from gambling.
you know what I feel like, Broski? The heart wants what the heart wants, but the little brain overrides it all because if it's hot, it wants to put it in it.
I So that's the biggest line that Robert De Niro tells Colangelo at that time.
I,
That
I oh,
movie is so
I
iconic.
understand the Blackhawks are an actual tribe. It
Yep.
was white liberals who got all out of gear about that stuff. One of my friends, we played D&D every Saturday night, loved the Indians and dug the Redskins, named because of their first head coach. Yep. You know, nobody gets mad that the Chiefs are called the Chiefs. Nobody gets mad that the Braves are called the Braves. That's why they changed their logo.
Right.
Oh, I know. Oh, from a Bronx Tale. Gotcha.
Yeah, from the movie. But it is absurd. I'm glad that they're fighting for. I'm glad it's someone saying, "Hey, we're just taking this too far. We had to issue one thing, and that was it."
And remember, Dan Snyder said for like 5 straight years while being hounded about it, "I'm never going to change the name. I'm never going to change the name." He had to go into a congressional hearing about having to sell his team, and all of a sudden, oh, we're the
Yep.
Commanders. We're the Washington football team now.
Well, he shouldn't have been hitting on interns and doing weird stuff to interns. He'd be all right.
And skimming the ticket pricing.
Yep.
That's what he got mainly in trouble for.
Was
If
it
he
that?
wouldn't have did if he wouldn't did that, what he tried to do was skim NFL game tickets into concert tickets,
Jesus.
like for
And
billions that year. Billions that year.
could have put that into a new stadium. That stadium is so horrible.
Yep. A native tribe is suing the Commanders from changing their name from the Redskins to the Commanders. They want it to be called the Redskins game. Yep, and they did a
And they have multiple owners now. They don't have one single owner.
plays D&D every Saturday night. Virgin. Just kidding.
Virgin. Mom's
Hey,
base.
I will say one thing. Yeah, Broski Bear is a very good Bears fan, and he was on board with what I said at the beginning of the year. He
Right.
thought I thought at most 8 games. I really did right off the rip. I said if everything goes right and Chewbacca somehow becomes the offensive line, maybe 10 wins.
Right.
But, he was realistic with me, and I said I could realistically see a 5-win season. They
Right.
won 5 games. And I was like, and it wasn't because of Caleb. It wasn't because of the players.
Right. I think their biggest issue is
Well,
I,
one of those woke owners is Magic Johnson, and he's down for having the name changed back to the Redskins of the Commanders.
yeah, that's awesome.
And I love the fact that he's a part owner in 2 different conglomerates where he has a chance to own 3 different sports franchises because that
Right.
just prints him money the rest of his life.
Yep, for sure. I
You
mean, he's
know,
probably
y-
still kicking himself in the ass for
there's
passing on Nike.
right. But I will tell you one thing. Guess who has a 3% share of every team in Miami? Every team.
Ooh,
You'll be shocked.
it can't be anybody. They have to be retired, and not playing anymore.
Oh, they're retired, but they're famous, very famous.
And they can't be
And she used
on
to be
sports.
super hot. She might even still be super hot. She's got the money.
Ooh. Now I want to know because I don't know this.
Gloria Estefan.
Really?
Yes. She is a
Wow.
3% shareholder in every single team in Miami, including the MLS soccer team.
Wow.
Darnold
That's
gets blown
crazy.
up again.
Yep. And threw a duck. That was an ugly ball.
He threw a lot of them versus Detroit. Remember, he was 19 of 41.
Yeah.
Hire McCarthy as head coach and make Rivera the DC. I'd be fine with it. You know what? I have said, I actually think McCarthy would make a better offensive coordinator than head coach. If you're going to go old coaches across the board,
Right.
this is what I'd want to see because he started the turnaround in San Francisco and nobody wants to give him credit. Mike
Right.
Singletary, make Ron Rivera, who's a better head coach, the head coach, make McCarthy the OC, and have Mike Singletary as your defensive coordinator.
Michael Singletary should have always been. He's not a head coach guy.
No,
He should have always been defensive coordinator.
but he was a defensive coordinator up, and then the interim head coach for a year, and they promoted him to a coach for a year, right in San
Yep.
Francisco, and then they fired him and hired Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
But he helped build that team to what it was as the defensive coordinator that
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh inherited, that was ready to win a Super Bowl with a
Yep.
great defense. And
Yep.
everybody wants to give credit to Jim Harbaugh, and I'm like, why? Colin Kaepernick came in as one of the hot QBs out of college,
Right.
but I didn't see the heat. Yep, Rams getting the ball back. Jeez, oh,
Yep. Incomplete. And that's the thing that there was, to be honest, I don't think there was any way that
now that would work too, but Pete Carroll
freaking
actually has a full complement. He literally contacted the Bears. He talked to Davis Warren himself 2 weeks before the end of the season, said, I've already got an OC, I've already got a DC, and I've got a special teams coordinator, and they already have all their assistants. So I'm ready to come in and roll. It, the fact that Pete Carroll called you and
right.
said this, and you didn't make him your first interview,
Right.
do I think Deion Sanders would be a good NFL head coach?
No.
You want my honest opinion? Hell to fuck no.
Nope.
I don't think he will be. I think he's fine right where he's at. I think he should stay in college at
Right.
least another 5 years.
I mean, I
Yep.
could see him going to a bigger program. I know Division One, but I could see him going to a bigger program. But
If they have that, they keep falling on their face like they're doing. I know they gave the guy a buttload of money, so they're not going to do it this year. That
right.
guy in Florida State.
Oh yeah.
If they keep floundering the way they are, that's where he wants to be, and that's where I see him going. That's where he
Right.
graduated from.
Right. I can also see. I can see someone making a pitch at him and maybe trying to get him up there, but it's going to be a desperate team that does. If it goes pro, it's going to be a desperate team that says, "Hey, we need a coach. We need somebody that's going to help us sell tickets."
And the reason why he wants to go to the Raiders is they still have a top 5 pick.
Yep. You think he's trying to draft his kid there or what?
I that's exactly it. He wants his kid to go to the Raiders.
I would not want to go to Raiders. I mean, what do you have? You have a good rookie tight end right now, and you got Max Crosby.
Well, those are 2 really good building blocks. I will say that. I'm not
For
going to
sure.
knock that. Max Crosby, he's a cornerstone guy, just like Myles Garrett, just like
Yeah.
T.J. Watt, just
So
like
do you think
Brandon
Garrett's
Graham.
going to be out?
Myles Garrett, I don't think is going anywhere. They don't want to go send him anywhere.
Right.
And now there's a video that came out because the last 2 weeks before Deshaun Watson said his ACL tore again,
Mhm.
he was seen in a video without his walking boot on, dancing in the parking lot with a hot chick.
The
So
guy
if
doesn't care
that's
about the
true,
game.
if that's true, if that is true, he just cost himself all the guarantees of his contract
Right.
because that's conduct not becoming or protecting yourself and protecting the shield. And yes, it wasn't his girlfriend either. You'll never guess what her occupation is.
Oh, I
Take a
get.
guess. Take a
I
guess.
she
Take
gives
a guess.
nice little rubs. She gives
Yeah,
rub downs.
she's a home personal masseuse. Imagine that.
I think that guy's watched way too many pornography movies. This guy has like a whole scene played out in his head. He's trying to live it in real life. What a
Well,
weirdo.
I the Houston Texans stuff I forgave him for.
Right.
Yep. Crosby's going to want to get out, but Mark Davis has already said that's his favorite player on the team. He hangs out with them at a cigar bar. He's not going to let him go. I already know this. We already know this. We've heard him say it how many times, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's going to want out. He's going to want to go. He's going to want to do this." All season long, that's all I heard. Oh, the Lions are going to get Max Crosby. So, what does Mark Davis tell Brad Holmes when he finally does call? Oh, I'll take 3 firsts, 2 seconds and a third.
Ooh,
Click.
you're giving up the next 5 years of draft competition at that point.
Right.
All future is gone. You have no future.
That's an LA Rams trading for their last 3 players they traded for
Hmm.
before they got a first round pick again.
To be honest, the most fair trade I've ever seen in my lifetime has been the Golf Stafford trade. That was the
I
most evenly trade I've ever seen.
and I've said this too. I said them getting their Super Bowl the first year made the trade worthwhile for them. That they
Right.
won the trade first year.
Right.
We had an awful roster. No one knew what you were going to get out of Goff. But that next year, even though the defense was trash and we were losing games left and right, Goff was great.
Yep.
And he hasn't dropped off. He stayed right there every year, 4,500 yards. Joey Uso, who told you about me? I want names.
This Mama Luke's over here trying to press me. Look at that. No, I think you guys have done such a great job with building.
and,
I just
and
it's
that's why now Zadarius Smith is 34 years old. And let's say they don't trade Crosby this year, but they're willing in a year down the road when the cap levies out where they can afford to do it.
Right.
Now, in 2 years, when Z Smith is on that team option on whether or not he comes back,
Mhm.
I'd make the trade then because your team should be completely built by then. That's
Right.
just adding another cornerstone opposite Hutchinson in the
Yeah.
27-28 year is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I think, and the big part about that is you guys. I don't even think you guys have hit your peak as far as your roster goes. I think
Yeah.
you guys have picked great players between Amon-Ra, Rod, Hutchinson, all these players that a lot of people didn't really have on the draft boards, and you guys made it work, and you guys got a lot to come.
Vikings fans already calling for the Ginger Jesus to be benched and KOC fired. I know. I've been watching the chat blow up all night, kid.
Somebody is there in Kansas City. What is this guy doing? Are they going to bench him before the start of the fourth?
You never know. They might put Brett Ripien in. Or Daniel Jones still in. 24-3.
Yeah.
Paul Jones. The Rams are beating them. Speak that truth louder, Joey. Not many others say it about our roster. I know.
It is so
Poor
true.
Vikings. Buddy, Kenquito. I got to play his music now.
Wow. This season, CJ Stroud has thrown 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Right.
Compare that
to
to his
last year.
rookie season.
Yeah,
Oh
where he
my
had,
God.
38 touchdowns and 9 interceptions?
Yep.
But this is for you, buddy. Please, yes, fire KOC now. Sincerely, a Lions fan. Why? I didn't want the Bears to fire Flus. I didn't want. They're a losing team versus us. Keep those coaches.
Right. Seriously.
I don't understand this. Let them beat everybody else and let us win. I'm good with that.
Didn't you guys have Deuce Staley as a running backs coach like last year or before?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago we had him.
I love that guy. Love that guy. To be honest, he's the reason why our running back room was so good when we won the Super Bowl. He was the complete reason why it happened.
Hokey do. I wonder, did the Vikings spend $4 million this time buying tickets? You heard about that, right? For the Week 18 game, they bought 1,000
I heard
tickets.
about that.
They bought 1,000 tickets, and it cost them $2 million, and they sold them at $200 a piece to their fans. Half the fans that bought the tickets, and they didn't even sell out of that 1,000 tickets they bought, turn around and resold them to Lions fans online for more money.
Grimy, dirty motherfuckers, man.
Hey, you can't blame
God.
somebody for taking advantage, going, hey, tickets in this area are normally $1,500. We can sell it for $750 and make 500 after
Nobody
fees.
thought we'd be at this point in the season, so let's boost them up.
Right.
Because I'll tell you one thing, I wish Eagles
Yes.
tickets were cheaper.
Deuce moved back to Carolina to coach with Frank Wright
Yeah.
because his mother has gone into hospice care and only has a couple of years left. So when Frank Wright was fired, he just didn't take another job
Yeah, and I think he ended up in what you call it this past year though,
for a little bit, and then he had to leave
Cleveland.
because his mom got sick again. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. He just was there for a little bit, and I have no qualms with somebody wanting to take care of their mom.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
You know, taking care of mom, taking care of dad.
Right,
It's like this says: God first, family second, then Detroit football.
right.
For me, for you, it'd be Eagles football, but you get it.
Look, as somebody who loves this team as much as I do, I had to take a step back. I realized I was putting too much in this team, and it was taking years off my life. I was like,
Yep.
I gotta calm down. I'm not gonna make it to 40 if I keep going like this.
I didn't become a podcaster until we got Dan Campbell. You can tell by the name of my channel.
Right.
And
Hey,
I was like, I finally think and I said when we hired him with what he said, the best thing that he said wasn't even the kneecap biting part of the speech. It was
it was so
it was
good.
when he was talking about the difference between Jelani Tavai and Jared Davis.
Oh,
He said Jared Davis is an excellent athlete. He's very fast, but I think he's been used in the wrong position. And then he turns around and he goes in Jelani Tavai and he just hangs his head and his shoulders slump. He goes, I'm not gonna lie, when we drafted him, I may or may not have broken my tablet screen.
yeah.
And I was like, I love this guy. He said,
He's a rough that he's a grind him out, beat him up type of coach. And some guys that are like that are gonna be they're gonna be team guy. And that's what you want to see in a coach. Nick Sirianni is the most strange person, let alone an Italian, I've ever seen in my
oh,
life, but I like him.
the Ken and Ken show that comes on my channel that you occasionally watch just before I go live at noon. They
Yeah.
have a big Eagles fan on there tomorrow. Is what he's
I
saying to you.
I will be in attendance. I will file. I will be there.
Ellen Iverson lives 5 minutes from me in a neighborhood called Valentine Country Club here in Charlotte. Oh, that's awesome,
Yeah.
Broski. AI was a great guy
I love him.
for
He's
about.
probably one of the best Sixers to ever be. He's gonna be in that Hall of Fame eventually when they ever put him there. But yeah, he's got a lot of ego. Always has.
You know what? I'm pushing. I'm in my mid-50s now, and I'm still waiting for that Super Bowl. But I was born into a family where my dad, both my uncles, and all 6 of my aunts were alive to see the last 3 Lions championships in the '50s.
Right.
So I'm kind of
So
born into being a Lions fan.
so back, just a little backstory on like how the Eagles came in my life. One, if I didn't become an Eagles fan, I probably would have been outcasted in my family. I
Oh,
probably would have been left on the streets
because you'd have been a Giants fan,
if I would have been any other fan. Or if any like my dad was like, "You don't like football? Get the fuck out of my house.
right?
What's wrong with you?"
But
If
that
I
was the other
wasn't,
that was the other team, wasn't it? Just to guess off the top of my head.
to be honest, I like Green Bay. I
Oh
hate to say,
wow!
as a kid, I like Green Bay. I did.
Oh, we got a closet cheesehead.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
I was back then. For me, it was far back then when I was a kid. I was just like, this guy is amazing. You know, he'll throw 20 interceptions a year, but this guy will throw the ball out there. But so, uh, I did karate at a place called Okinawa Karate Academy back
Oh,
when
okay.
in Philly and stuff. And Eagles players used to come in
Get
into the
out!
establishment and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Like a kid. Get out!
Get out. Yeah.
Because you're a closet cheesehead fan.
I look when I was a kid, I was like, this guy is something else, man. That and you know what? I could also say I was a big Kurt Warner fan when I was a kid. So growing up and seeing the greatest show on turf was probably the greatest things I ever seen.
He said that
FTP.
for you. He said that
Yep.
for you.
Hey, It is fuck 'em. 'Cause it's either that or whatever family.
Wow. James Burgess says his great uncle Lloyd Livingston was a chaplain of the Lions back when that was still a thing. That's cool as hell.
Wow.
Yeah,
Rusky
because I
lives in
think
Norristown,
didn't they
okay, Montgomery County.
so, chaplains, I think, stopped being a thing in the NFL in the mid-70s, right around that area is when that stopped happening.
Yeah, when they stopped allowing religion into football and stuff like that.
It was the same year that they stopped it in the schools. That's the reason why we couldn't say the Pledge of Allegiance and all that crap. The late 70s that happened. 27-3 now.
Yep,
It's safe to say that Minnesota will be couch riding with the Packers and Bears.
yep.
Hey,
So,
hey,
yeah,
congratulations to Packers and Vikings. You got to play one more game than the Bears this year.
yep.
And both
Everybody
of
can
them are
go,
both of
shoot
them are
one
0-2 in 2025. Imagine that.
they're all gonna go share corn on the cob now.
Did you say Cobb? You said Cobb, right?
Yeah, they're gonna go share one together. Oh,
They're going to share the Cobb.
they are.
Yeah, but at least we get to be in the playoffs for another week, Ken. Can't be one and done if you didn't play.
Yep.
I went to the Eagles' last win at the end of playoff game with Mike Vick Falcons. I
Oh,
sat
you're
top
you're talking
level
about the hit on
700.
Algie Crumpler.
Yes,
My gosh,
that was a hit too.
Dawkins. That hit.
Brian
I
Dawkins is a dog.
oh
A
my god,
dog.
amazing.
I loved Brian Dawkins.
Thanks,
I
Jim.
loved John Lynch. I loved Steve Atwater back in the day.
Yep.
Ronnie Lott,
Ronnie
Ed
Lott.
Reed,
Yep.
Charles Woodson, even when he made the transition from
John
cornerback to
Lynch
safety.
was a great.
Damn it, there she goes. Love it.
So I actually did karate when I was a kid. So my dad was like a double degree black belt, two straight black belt, whatever it was. I don't know. I would go because I'd go, see my dad in the weekends, and that's where they have karate. Go over there, and he would take us. And Reggie White actually did karate in the academy that we were going to. So I
Oh, that's
did
cool.
karate next to this. So I'm like doing the punches and stuff. I'm like looking up at this guy in the adult class and stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. Like met Jeremiah Trotter there, which was cool. And then like the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl was the year my dad passed away. So I was just
Didn't
like
you guys
that whole
take
year.
didn't you guys take Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in the draft?
We did. We did. He played a little bit in the last two games
Right.
between
He
yesterday
got
and
hurt
the
early in the year during the preseason, if I remember right. Had to miss a few weeks and get back into game shape, right?
Yeah, so I don't think it was a knee. I think it was a foot thing.
Yeah, it was a foot.
It was a foot thing. So he
Yeah,
was
Lawrence Taylor was a linebacker. I'm just talking strictly safeties. The safeties that I loved from the 80s, 90s area. For the Lions, there was Louis Delmas, Glover Quinn, uh, Benny Blades.
well that
Oh,
too.
not Crumpler, but the Dawkins Vic. Yes,
That
that
was a
was
hit too.
loud. It was a hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys smacked that game. I still
and
don't
don't
think
forget Spielman in his
the,
prime. Atwater, nice JB. I remember the hut against center. Oh, okay, yeah, I know. I can't ever. Christian
the
Okoye.
Reggie Bush hit from Lito Shepherd
Oh yeah,
in
that
the
was good
first round
too.
of playoffs. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen a harder hit in my life.
Mal Blount's another one from back in the day. You
Yeah.
start getting back there, and if you don't say Paul Krause,
Bob Sanders, yeah, how's it going?
but Paul Krause still leads the league in interceptions back when they didn't throw the ball as much.
Right.
Everybody says, "Why do you love Paul Krause so much?" I was like, he played when the game was 12 games a season, and he has
Yep.
81 career interceptions, and they threw the ball maybe 25 times a game back then.
Right.
How good do you have to be to have 81 interceptions
In 12 games,
in 12 game seasons?
that's absurd.
Then his career was 12 years. So
Right.
break that down, divide it by 12. That's not a lot of picks per year, but
No.
it's solid.
Right.
It's solid as fuck.
Right. Back then when they used to smoke cigarettes in the locker room and stuff.
Right. And on the sideline. On the sidelines, you'd see guys smoke a cigarette. I remember Dick Butkus when I was a kid, watching him with a cigarette in his mouth
I forget who they
on
showed.
TV.
They showed someone today from back in the day, and the
Jack
guy
Lambert.
had
Jack
Jack
Lambert.
Lambert had a cigar in one hand and a cigarette in the other. I was like, this guy's a monster. The fuck?
Yeah, he's fucking chiefing out a cigarette. Brian
was like,
Branch reminds me of Bob Sanders. You know what? He kind of reminds me of Ed Reed.
Mm. It's so funny. Ed Reed was on a podcast and he said, "Who would you like to take a hit from, yourself or Ray Lewis?" I was just like, I don't know. That's a hard call.
If somebody asked me if I was able to get behind any O line versus somebody that gets to hit me, wow, they're just giving it to the Rams now. Refs suck ass. Yep.
Yep.
Len Dawson smoking a cig at halftime of Super Bowl I. Yeah, those were the days.
And going out there and still running around like he has nothing wrong with him. It's insane.
Well, hell, they were able to smoke in stadiums up until what, mid 90s?
Oh, I forget when it is.
Yeah, it was mid 90s.
I know it was
They
definitely
did
in the
that.
80s they were still out there.
I know in 91 was when they made the movie The Replacement,
Mm-hmm.
and that was based off of the real stuff. And that guy, Nigel Gruff, the leg,
Mm-hmm.
comes out with
Yeah.
the cigarette and crushes it.
Yep. With a sock on, no shoe.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
tough fucker.
Jesus Christ.
I pissed it all away, Shane.
21 straight drives without a touchdown for Minnesota. That's absurd.
Yeah, that's in
absurd.
two games. Been 21 drives since their last touchdown.
Look, he's overthrowing screens. Like, this guy's scared to be in the game right now.
Yeah, I smoked in stadiums many times, airplanes too. That's right. I smoked cigarettes all the way down when I joined the army. Because once you're in the air, they didn't know how old you were, and they didn't check your ID. And I just got my pack out of my shirt pocket, like cigarette right there on the plane.
Yeah, now you gotta be 21 to even buy anything tobacco wise. At least in Pennsylvania.
Darnold's missed more open passes than Love's thrown interceptions. There's your bump of the day.
Yeah. Poor guy. Oh, another call against the Rams right now.
7 quarters and counting without a Minnesota touchdown. I'm having too much fun with this.
Look, between the penalties and the injuries yesterday, that game was almost unwatchable. I was sitting there, I was like, bro, I'm not even into this game right now. It's crazy.
Sean Taylor is the only one that I consider even close to Ed Reed. I'm just saying the way that Branch hits, it reminds me of the Ed Reed type of tackling because he hits high in the chest and the shoulders all the time, and all the guy has to do is lower his head a little bit, and it's oops.
Right.
And if you look,
Sean Taylor
you can see he was one of a kind. I think Sean Taylor was in a class of his own. I don't even put him in the Ed Reed thing.
Right.
Because Sean Taylor's hit on that punt return is the reason why tackling stopped in the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
Touchdown Rams.
Touchdown. No, Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota?
TJ Hawkins.
Hey! TJ Droppinson got a touchdown. I'll have to stop calling him that now. Did you hear me?
Yep.
I'll have to stop calling him that now. He dropped more passes than Darnold threw errant last week.
Oh, that was a bad throw from Aaron. Or from Sam Darnold.
He makes those. The circus catches that
he's
not supposed to make, he makes those. The ones that hit him in the breadbasket.
Right.
Nope. That ain't happening.
To be honest, I think most, like, at least let's say like established tight ends, right? I think they have better hands than most receivers.
Let's do the chant for them. Score! But I don't have a cock in my mouth.
Let's be honest.
Yep, 27-9. Did they go for 2 and not get it?
They're going for 2 right now.
Oh boy.
TJ Hawkinson's tired. Hands on the hips. He's beat. They're going to try to go to him again. Watch.
First touchdown in 2025 for Minnesota. Did they get
Did
it?
not get it. Did not get it.
Well, this is probably going to be the final score, guys. With this little
And
bit of
like, don't
time.
get me wrong, Justin Jefferson's a decent receiver. I think he's a
Oh, they
little
got a whole quarter
undersized.
to go yet. They could
Yep.
do more. That's sad. They're down this much and they can't even go for an onside kick yet.
Does the NFL have a rule on that?
Yeah, it
Wow.
has to be the fourth quarter, and you have to be losing to do it.
Wow.
And you have to tell the other team when you do it.
Yeah, that's the absurd part. When they came out with that rule this year, I was like, this is no, it's just pointless. So, how do you guys? I just want to get to the NFC Championship so we could have a good game.
Amen.
As scared as I am of you guys, I know it's going to be a hell of a game. It'll probably be the best one of the playoffs, if you want to be honest. But don't sleep on that Baltimore and Buffalo game. That's going to be good.
Yeah. It is.
And we're going to see how the Rams play in the snow. Because when you play in the snow, all that speed, it goes out the window.
Oh, yeah. I know.
So we'll see. James, I agree with you. They definitely need to change the kickoffs.
Yeah, there is some rules that have been put, and I don't know what the new ones are. And like I said, I don't pay attention to that till my team's out of the playoffs. Any new rules that they're doing that doesn't affect anything till next year, I don't need to know until it's the next season.
Right.
So the only news I cared about is Mike McCarthy was fired today. The clown car rolled him out of Dallas.
Yep. And they said that Dak and what's his name are gonna sit down with Jerry Jones and talk about trying to get more talent in there. Yes, I did go to the ECW.
So wait a minute. So instead of the onside kick, they're going to give you a 4th and 20 to try to go for it.
Never gonna go for that. Who goes for a 4th and 20 unless it isn't?
No, but if you want to go for an onside kick, it's going to be done like a 4th and 20. So you're risking from where you're at and anywhere within that 20 yards as being the field position of the other team if you don't get it.
Nope.
And if that's the case, yeah, there you go, Moonscar. Motor City, Dan Campbell will go for it every time.
Yeah. What are you guys at? 48% of the season go for it right
now? We average 31% per
31,
season that we go for it. But we get it 78% of the time. That's insane.
That's big. 4th and 20 from the 25. Wow.
Ooh, yeah, that's awful. 4th and 20. That's what the owners are discussing. I say just eliminate the fact you got to tell the other team. That's it.
Yeah. Right.
If you just do that, I don't care that they leave it where it's got to be the last 2 minutes of a half and you have to be behind to try one. I'm good with that. He goes, we'll never kick off again. No, because the first time it bites you in the ass and you're down by 21 points because you gave it up on incompletions at the 25 and they just drive in and score, you'll never do it again.
Teams that can't convert. Yeah. What's his name asked if I ever been to one of the ECW events? Yeah. South Philly back in the day. Because I grew up on 12th and Snyder. Anybody knows about that area? Back in the day when I was a kid, that was a real heavy Italian populated area. It's not what it was anymore, but it was back in the day. I was about to say, what is Williams doing? His whole shoe came off. Stafford's over there trying to put his shoe back on. Yeah. You should see these cleats these guys are wearing. The studs on these cleats are like this huge. They're playing in Arizona, right? Oh, at Stafford airs it out 4. No, it's incomplete. I've never seen a team
Yeah,
that uses so many different tight ends.
the Vikings went for 2 too early, done decision. Maybe, maybe not. Deception has always been part of the NFL. Announcing your intentions on any play is stupid. 100%.
Yep.
You know what? The Stumble Rooski. If I think that was the best play of the year by the Lions for a trick play. The fact that
It was the
you
best
had
trick
to
play of
get
the year for sure.
the fact you got to get your whole sideline to start screaming ball, ball, ball,
Yeah. Right.
just to trick them into thinking it was a fumble while it's all happening.
Did
And the
you see
fact that
them fall for it?
yeah,
Like I seen the reaction of the defense line, and dudes just start going like this on the ground, and then
yeah.
looking up, and like, sorry to
And
hear
by
for
the
your
time they
headphones.
looked up, they already threw it past them. Right.
I
Here's the
was-
crazy thing is that Ben Johnson in his evil genius mind, he goes, "Are you good enough to throw the ball at the ground and have it bounce back at your hand?"
You got to be a brave soul for that.
Goff
A
goes, "No,
brave
but I
soul.
can fake a stumble." He goes, "Okay, we got you." And
Yeah.
and when you call that play, the whole sideline has to be involved like it was.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't look as good. But when they started screaming, "Ball, ball, ball!" Everybody's looking for the ball on the ground. They're looking down. They're not looking up. Goff just regains his composure, turns around, throws it downfield, touchdown.
So as a fan, obviously you didn't know that was going to happen. What was your reaction in that moment?
Oh, when I first started to see him fall, I was like, "Oh God, we're getting sacked again." That's it. And then I was like, "Wait a minute, he's not falling to the ground. Oh,
Right.
that's intentional. Oh, he's gonna throw it. Fuck yeah, touchdown!"
Right.
But it had me for a second.
Right. It was a very well done play. You could tell
Yeah,
rehearsed you
I
guys.
know Hokey do. But that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. The three head refs that will not be coaching the rest of the playoffs. Number one is Sean Hockley, who has missed 30% of all games, whether home or on the road, no matter who the favorite. He's got a 30% miss rate on calls. That's whether they're bad calls, missed calls, whatever. The announcers were baffled until they watched the replay 3 or 4 times. I know, I know. And then Clete Bakeman, for Lions fans, the guy that was known as Cheat Blakeman, he will not be calling any of the games as a head ref throughout the rest of the playoffs. And the last one you're going to love the most because you just mentioned it, Hokey Doo. The, the guy that executed the biggest snow job in Lions history in Dallas, Bradley Allen. He does not get to call any of the plays, any of the games in the rest of the playoffs. And what's weird is that home favorites, when Bradley Allen is the ref,
Mhm.
they win 38% of the time and get calls in their favor 40% of the time.
Shit. I mean,
And that's who just coached you. That's who just called your game last night
last night.
versus the Packers was Bradley
I
Allen.
w- you know what I was thinking? I was starting to wonder if that's why he was calling so much because he wants to coach or he wants to ref games further in the playoffs. So I'm thinking this guy's trying to call these calls to make himself look good. Joseph says the Rams can beat Philly. They can, but we're going to see how they play in the snow. I'll tell you that much. I hate Joe Buck with a passion. I swear to God, he's a Cowboys fan. I swear to God.
Who?
Joe Buck,
Oh,
the
yeah.
announcer.
I still haven't found the link because he hasn't done any more videos because he got tired of.
Yeah, I was wondering who you're talking about because I was like, after you said that and you got off, I was looking through all YouTube, just scattering YouTube for Eagles, podcasters, fans, whatever else I could find. I couldn't find much.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. I'll have to scroll through the Facebook reels again.
Because as an Eagles fan, I'm telling you, a lot of our guys, I think we get stuck with the victim complex too much. And I'm just like, bro, we're finally a good team. Let's just live in this. But I'm like, a lot of these people that are Eagles fans now, you didn't live through the 80s and 90s. You didn't know what it was like when we had Coy Detmer and Ty Detmer as our starting quarterbacks. Like, we were
I thought I
terrible.
saw where we get a crew this weekend that calls a lot of. They call fair penalties. There's a big difference with the Ron Tolbert, or Ryan Tolbert, whatever his name is. He does call a lot of penalties, but they're fair penalties. He does a lot of the ticky tack shit, but they're
Right.
letter of the rule penalties.
Oh, yeah,
So
I could see Joe Buck being why he got that job. I hate his voice. I hear his voice, and I'm just like, bro, we're gonna lose because this
is
guy's
it
calling the game.
is it just me, or as Troy Aikman look older, does he not look like he's turning into white Jay-Z?
His forehead is getting huge. I will say that that hairline is
I'm
falling back.
serious. Go find a recent picture of Jay-Z and put it next to Troy Aikman. You'll die.
I can see that. That is funny as shit.
Well, thank
I
you
don't
everybody for tuning in.
too many.
This was a blast. We appreciate you. I gotta give homage to Brandon Service. I can't believe nobody else shouldn't show up, but that's okay. They're probably just watching football. I don't know why. Doesn't sound like it was a game worth watching.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I love it, but I said the Rams are winning, and they are. So there. It's
I'm not gonna lie.
Brandon Service at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check them out. Used tires starting at $45 and up, depending on size and condition. If you need new tires, come on in and give us a call. It takes 1 to 2 days to get the tires in. 810-233-8230. Talk to George or Red.
I'm
Lions
gonna
fans
drive out
know
the
about
front.
Ty Detmer. Yes, we do.
I hate that guy. The end of the third. We're going to the fourth.
Yeah. It's a barn burner. I'm so scared that the Vikings might win.
Good weed available nearby.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of dispensaries right down the road in Flint.
Drive myself from Philly out there to get some tires.
You know what's funny is I had a guy drive, say what you want. I had a guy drive from Cadillac, Michigan, which is about 3 hours north of Flint. So 180 miles, maybe, when you're talking expressway miles,
Yeah.
just to get a set of tires because it saved him $400 on his truck compared to buying them at Can Rock or Bell in his hometown.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, everything out here is the same.
it's ridiculous how much we save people. Smoking some garlic cocktail tonight. Very tasty.
Broski says that he says, Joe, you're young and you don't know anything about Coy Detmer's neckbeard. I don't know about the neckbeard. I just remember him coming in as a backup.
I know, I do. I wish Dan Miller and Lomas Brown did TV too.
Telling you, man. After we get this week over, I feel like everything else is just gonna feel like
The
season's
rest of the
over.
playoffs, you're going to have good games. That's what I see is about ready to happen.
Right.
We're not going to be seeing any of this. My mom's driver's side has a slow leak rim issue likely. I'll pester you soon, Smoking Jeremy. Hey, I'll show up there to make sure they give you a discount, James.
But seriously, I mean, because this, I love the playoffs, but this week is like the worst week in playoffs. I hate it.
Well, there was no excitement except the Commanders Bucks game. That was the
Right.
only exciting game it was. The rest of them, it was kind of like, oh, we know who's winning.
Yep.
And at halftime, I figured the games were over.
Right.
I mean, the Bills Broncos game was exciting for a half, but the doink that hit so hard it rattled my windows here in Michigan.
So you think that doink was harder than the Commanders?
Yeah, that just grazed and went in. That thing was full flesh right on the. He hit the post like an OnlyFans girl for $20.
It was so good.
Boom!
Oh, Darnold just took off for about 19
He
yard,
will do that every now and then. Darnold has better wheels than people think. He just doesn't do it that often.
and now they have a
No, but
line
literally,
that
like I was texting someone at the time, and when that hit, boom! I was like, "Ooh, that's a doink." That's a good doink. That isn't one of those little ones. Now I do remember when we got ready to play the Bills in the first kickoff. Uh, Jake Bates. It's kickoff. I'm not paying attention. I hear boom. I watched the replay. He put it between the uprights off the top of the crossbar
Jesus
on
on
a
a
kickoff.
kickoff.
On a kickoff. You know,
That
there
70-yard
used to be
kicker?
a rule that was points back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that.
You know, it hasn't been in our lifetime, but
No.
back in the old days, if you did a kickoff and it went through the upright, you got points for it. I looked it up. It used to be a 2-point play. It was considered like a safety.
Wow.
Minnesota burns a timeout now. Yeah, because they're stupid.
Well, then, yeah, they
The
just had an
Bills
injury
Broncos
time,
game was not over at half. It was 7-10. Let's not.
and neither was the
That,
Eagles game.
and you guys were up what?
10-3 at the half.
Yeah, the touchdown's different.
Yep.
Touchdown's different, but yeah, I get it. It's not over yet. But man,
Well, I don't
it's
know.
so
What is the
weird
difference with the kickers nowadays too? I mean,
with how long they're kicking the field goals and stuff, and strong they're and accurately.
to be honest, I think they're less accurate. Look at the
Well,
days you had alright, so you had Akers, you had what's his name?
uh,
Up in New England, and then you had
you had Guskowski and Vinatieri.
yeah, you had these great kickers that were
But
damn near
Vinatieri
never
came from
missing.
the Colts first. You had Hanson for the Lions, and then it was Prater. You
Yep,
had Jason Elam out there in Denver. You had they used to call him Automatica Grammatica down there in
yep,
Tampa Bay, and then he went to Arizona. Or was that his brother? Was there two of them named Grammatica that were
mm,
kickers?
no, I think there was only one.
Yeah,
I don't think
Martin,
there was
right?
2. Yeah,
Then you had the old dogs, and they weren't that accurate, but they just played forever.
right,
Janikowski, the Anderson brothers,
mhm,
you know, Martin and Glenn Anderson. I'm talking about.
right, right,
But Jake Bates did something this year. It quietly broke a franchise record in 16 games. He broke
mhm,
Jason Hanson's single season scoring record for the Lions in 16
Jesus,
games. He goes,
that's
forward
crazy.
passes were still illegal then when they allowed the points to count for the kickoff field goal.
Which
Can you
is
imagine?
it's crazy.
But the fact that somebody could actually do it
Right,
these days, because you don't see very many people kick it through the uprights at all, whether it's off the crossbar or not. You
mhm,
see them all kick it into the end zone or through the back of the end zone. But remember, the crossbar is 10 yards off the ground, or 10 feet off
exactly.
the ground, 10 feet off the ground. So in order to kick that, and you're kicking it from the other 35, and it's 10 yards deep.
It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it's that's a 75-yard kick in the air.
Yeah,
A 75-yard kick in the air. Look at the 65-yarder he missed at the end of that half versus Chicago in Chicago outside.
mhm.
Jason Hanson, Bates dry hump in the ground is still funny. He wasn't dry humping the ground. Thank God the sideline reporter had to report it. But even she was laughing about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. He had a
Oh, I think Addison's gonna get pulled right here.
Oh, really? What'd he do?
Yeah, the way his head get bounced off the ground.
Oh, that's not
He got up and ran away. Oh, they're letting him stay in. That's bad. They might get hit for that because the way he hit, his head snapped back off the ground, and then his whole body flipped over, and his head snapped back like this.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
That
But
looks like
anyways,
a concussion.
he had a cramp in his obliques is what was going on. Jan Stenerud, there's a name from way back. You're talking about the guy that was kicking field goals back in the first Super Bowl. Jesus.
Did they even have TVs at that point or no?
Yes.
Oh,
In the TVs came out in the 40s, but didn't get popular till the 60s.
okay.
They were in every home by the 60s. Put it this way, in 1957, my dad listened to the Lions win the world championship on the radio.
Oh my goodness! Wow, wow,
That's how long ago it was.
that's insane. I was hoping for mini football.
Oh, but thank you for watching, everybody. It's been a blast. I'm going to call it a night. Joey, thanks for showing up.
Yep.
And as I always tell everybody, try every day to be a better Packers, Vikings, NFC North overrated. I'm not saying it. I'm asking the question we will be asked, especially if Detroit loses. Oh yeah, if Detroit loses somehow this week coming up, that will be the talk.
Overrated is going to be an underused term.
But
You're
at the
going to hear
same
so
time,
much.
I don't think the Commanders have enough weapons to beat the Lions. I really don't.
Nope.
Hawkinson trying to keep them in it in spite of Darnold. J.I., good night. Joe, way to be green. Go Lions. Yep. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. Starts right here.